Good morning. This river of love that we've created makes me want to give each of you a hug. So please know that I'm sending that. It's amazing how much sadness and joy you can feel in the room and how connected you can feel to people based on a shared experience, even if it's very different. We each have our unique experiences of grief, but boy, it's a uniting feeling. Our first reading this morning is a 2018 poem called Enough Room. Unfortunately, I don't know the author. I really tried to research it, but I was not successful. So I'm going to tell you instead about the person who posted it on Instagram. It was posted by someone named Na-Me, first name N-A, last name M-E-E. She uses the cute handle Tsunami on Instagram. And she's passionate about the power of art to tell stories, bring people together, and activate positive social change. And here is the poem. There is a little boy next to me. He must be 2 or 3. Even when his legs are fully extended, they don't touch the seat in front of him. Mostly, he just touches me, which is okay. His father looks to be in his 40s, salt and pepper hair, broad shoulders, and unexciting blue jeans. He's tall. I assume he is the kind of tall that takes care of people, like reaches for things in the overhead bin for old ladies or carries multiple children to the house at once, that gentle, spacious tall. Do you want to lay down? He keeps asking his son in English, who does not want to lay down. Baby, do you want to take a nap? He suggests. But the son does not want to take a nap. I like how English sounds in his mouth. It bounces like rain in a hard city. We take off. The son and I look out the window, watching the world get smaller and smaller. Then the father, all 6-foot mountain of him, curls himself up into a seashell and lays his upper body in his son's lap. Without speaking, his son puts one tiny arm on his shoulder and one tiny arm around his head, and his little back is strong and his little eyes are soft. And like this, he holds his father. Now the son is making circles with his palms, very small ripples across the landscape of the man he came from. Now with one finger, he is slowly stroking his father's wild sideburn. I think they must have done this before. The father is asleep. If you held them up to your ear, I bet you could hear the ocean inside them. I bet everything in their ocean has a home to belong to. Even I belong here, simply by being here, a stranger in the company of strangers. Why are some children born into sweetness and some are born into war? Line up their fathers, and how could you tell their tenderness apart? I cannot fathom at this beloved moment or at any other how a grown man could ever shoot tear gas at another man's child, how a woman could walk their babies 3,000 desperate miles to our doorstep and still some mothers would not let them in. It does not take concrete to build a wall. Perhaps our anxious leaders have never held space like this where no one is alone and there is always enough room. I want to bottle it up and share it. I want to swim in it and be free. I want to be immigrant and rooted here 40,000 feet above any given border. I want to be held in the arms of the small world. Our scripture this morning is from Isaiah 25, and it's for the occasion of the Feast of All Saints. Holy One of old, you are my God. I will exalt you, I will praise your name, for you have worked wonders, ancient counsel, faithful and trustworthy. For you are a refuge to the poor, a refuge to the needy in their distress, a shelter from the storm and a shade from the heat. The commander of heaven's legions will make for all people on the mountain a feast of rich food, a feast of well-aged wines, of rich food prepared with marrow, of refined, well-aged wines. God will destroy on this mountain the shroud that shrouds all peoples, the veil that veils all nations. God will swallow up death forever. Then the sovereign God will wipe away tears from every face and will sweep aside the shame of God's people from the whole earth. For God, whose name is holy, has spoken. It will be said on that day, look, this is our God in whom we hope and who saved us. This is the creator of all in whom we hope. Let us be glad and rejoice in God's salvation, for the hand of the Ancient of Days shall rest on this mountain. Do you know about Fat Bear Week? If not, you're about to get a crash course. It's an annual event held in October by Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska, commemorating the impressive preparations made by brown bears in inhabiting Katmai as they ready themselves for their winter hibernation. Human spectators from around the world are invited to participate by casting online votes to determine the bear that has most effectively accumulated fat reserves. You can imagine before and after pictures. In 2023, AP News called the competition Alaska's most watched popularity contest, which is possible thanks to 8 live webcams strategically placed along the Brooks River, including an underwater salmon cam. The event serves as a testament to the remarkable feats of weight gain demonstrated by these bears, often exceeding 1,000 pounds during the pivotal summer and autumn months when they feed on salmon in anticipation of their extended hibernation period. Beyond its playful, competitive aspect, Fat Bear Week also serves a crucial role in advocating for bear conservation and cultivating an interest in wildlife. During the annual celebration, only one champion will emerge. And if our tech cooperates with us, you'll be able to see a photo of this year's winner. The winner is named 128 Grazer, crowned the fattest bear of all of Katmai National Park in Alaska. Grazer is a mama bear to 2 litters of cubs. She's been a fixture of the park since 2005, when she was first identified as a cub herself. Grazer's being shy. This was Grazer's first time winning the contest, a feat made easier by the fact that she entered as a single female with no cubs to care for. Since last year, Grazer has since released her cubs and was able to focus on self-care. Imagine that. This bodes well for those of us who are about to become empty nesters or those who don't have children of our own. What are the lessons that we can learn, there she is, from bears and this amazing trick of biology that is the evolutionary process of hibernation? How can we unleash our inner bear when it serves us to do so? To answer these questions, I have 4 points, and each of them start with the letter S. Someone get the hair dye. My Baptist roots are showing again. First, the bears teach us about self-trust. Second, the bears teach us the importance of seasonal preparation, including sometimes the need to suspend our animation. Thirdly, we learn that we can survive on our reserves. And finally, that God will be our shelter in the storm. Let's explore these bear lessons. First, they teach us that self-trust matters. Bear hibernation stands apart from the approach of other animals who hibernate. Some rodents and other animals, they hibernate on strict schedules governed by day length. Bears, however, they each decide for themselves when to shut down and when to recover. That timing is driven by a number of cues, including food supply and temperature. In a study published in 2017, scientists tracked the hibernation of 51 female black bears for an average of 3 years, each in the vicinity of Durango, Colorado. The total length of hibernation varied widely from less than 4 months to more than 7 months, depending on the age and parental status. Older bears and mothers with cubs tended to hunker down longer. We need the rest. than younger bears who were on their own, but all the bears were clearly paying attention to living conditions as they prepared to return to active life. The bears chose different times and places to start denning, like tree roots, caves, or dugout ant hills. But they all left their dens when the average daytime temperature approached around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature is what coaxes them out, but there are other possible factors. Bears also seem to factor in unpleasant wetness from melting snow and other environmental conditions. But the whole process hinges on the bear's ability to pay attention and to trust its own instincts. Self-trust means consistently staying true to yourself, and at the very core, trusting yourself means looking after your own needs and safety as you try to treat yourself with love and compassion, which is something that is easier to muster up for other people than it is for our own selves. The bears have agency to make calculated conditions about what's best for them. In the human world, some of us clearly get a lot more agency than others. Can you make a decision now that will make life easier for your future self? What about something you might do to create ease for someone else's future self? Maybe trusting yourself looks like following your instincts to witness someone without trying to fix them. Practices that keep us grounded are the only ways to lean into that self-trust so that we can show up for others. The second lesson from the bears is the importance of seasonal preparation. Like the bears, we must figure out in the midst of our own rhythms of life when to shut down and when to recover. What do we need in this season of life to emerge restored for the next? For some of us, that may involve taking on an experience or a project that feels life-giving to us. At other times, we may need to completely suspend our animation like the bears. For brown bears, gaining as much weight as possible during the summer months is a crucial survival strategy because during their up to 7-month-long hibernation, the mammals generally do not eat, drink, defecate, or urinate. That's what I call rest. Their breathing slows and their heart rates drops from about 40 to 50 beats per minute to just 8 to 19 beats per minute. Still, the bears continue to burn calories, sometimes more than 4,000 per day. By the time they emerge from their dens, they may have lost up to 33% of their body weight. What can you let go of or simplify in order to slow down to a pace that allows you to operate in your magic? Is it time for you to hunker down? Can you say no or not now unless the request generates an enthusiastic, hell yes, I want to do that? If you are feeling overwhelmed, can you suspend your animation, even if only for a little while? Or maybe you have the ability to carve out a longer period of peaceful hibernation. The third lesson I want us to take from the bears is about surviving on our reserves. For the bears, the reserves are made up of calories from salmon. What are your reserves made up of? How do you find the ability to look inwards? The other day, I was feeling blue, but so much bad stuff was going on that I couldn't pinpoint what exactly was bothering me most. So I created a written list of all the possibilities. I titled it, Reasons That I Am Not Okay. I won't share what was on the list, but I will share that the list was 12 reasons long. And my instincts told me that I needed to follow that list up with another list. This time, the title was Reasons That I Am Okay. This list ended up being only 5 reasons long. Some of the things that made the list were the smallest of delights. They seemed so small in scale compared to the reasons that I was not okay. But somehow, this writing exercise made me feel much better. Just naming and recalling small joys like shopping online with my 16-year-old daughter to find the perfect homecoming dress for her reminded me of what matters most. The math doesn't seem to add up, but somehow those 5 small joys were able to hold weight against the 12 terrible things that were ailing me. Things you can imagine because some of them are on your list too. On this All Saints' Day, I feel your grief as I feel my own, both present day and historic. We do have this amazing ability to be okay and not okay all at once. But like the bears, we can survive on our reserves because love has the amazing ability to fuel, to replenish us, and to keep us going. What replenishes you? Are there rituals and practices that feel restorative? As a churchgoer, is being in this space on a Sunday, like when the bears pack on the pounds, something you can rely on to help you prepare for what you may have to face during the week that will likely include some heartache? How can we help others restore themselves? Just like it's amazing and fun during Fat Bear Week to watch the bears on the live cams beef up for winter, how good do you feel when you watch loved ones or even strangers get what they need most? And when that list of things that ails you gets too long, when you are overwhelmed by the things that make you feel like you are not okay, I'm here to remind you that God is waiting to be your shelter. When you don't have the words, you don't need any. You can just hide in the bosom of your mama bear and allow yourself to be soothed. I'm here to commend you on your survival strategies, your ability to adapt to the often harsh and sometimes lovely conditions around you. Self-trust matters. Keep trusting your instincts. Continue to pay attention and to make seasonal preparations that leave you feeling galvanized. May God help you know when to suspend your animation and to create the conditions that allow you to do so. May God be your refuge when you're in distress, your shelter from the storm and shade from the heat. And may you survive on your reserves until the day when God swallows up death forever, until the God whose name is holy wipes away tears from every face. It will be said on that day, look, this is the creator of all, in whom we hope. This is God's good news. Amen.